She is often referred to as the Queen of Screams. That's a name she earned throughout her amazing career. But aside from her role in King Kong and a handful of horror films, most don't realize that she was a lot more than what she portrayed on screen. But first, a little background. Before the legendary career, in a quiet corner of Alberta, Canada, amidst vast ranch lands, a future Hollywood legend was born. Fay Wray's early life was far removed from the atmosphere or stardom or the silver screen, a fact that makes her eventual rise to stardom all the more fascinating. Born to devout members of the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints, Elvina Marguerite Jones and Joseph Heber Wray, Fay's roots were deeply embedded in the rugged terrain of the ranching world. Her mother hailed from Salt Lake City, Utah, while her father came from Kingston upon Hull, England, bringing with them a rich tapestry of ancestry from England, Scotland, Ireland, Northern Ireland, and Wales. Fay was one of 6 children in a family that valued hard work and faith, but the tranquility of the Alberta ranch was soon to be left behind. In 1912, the Wray family packed their belongings and dreams and moved to Salt Lake City, seeking new opportunities. 2 years later, they settled in the small mining town of Lark, Utah. However, the lure of the burgeoning film industry was irresistible, and in 1919, the Wrays made their final move to Hollywood, California. It was here, amidst the backdrop of a rapidly growing entertainment hub, that Fay Wray's destiny began to take shape. She enrolled at Hollywood High School, where she was surrounded by the vibrant energy of aspiring actors and filmmakers. The transition from a ranch in Alberta to the epicenter of the movie industry might have seemed improbable, but not for Fay. The taste of stardom. At just 16, Fay Wray stepped into the flickering world of early cinema, making her film debut in a short historical film sponsored by a local newspaper in 1923. This first taste of acting sparked a passion that would propel her into the spotlight of Hollywood's silent film era. By the mid-1920s, she was appearing in silent films like The Coast Patrol, 1925, and taking on uncredited bit parts at the Hal Roach Studios, slowly carving out her niche in the industry. In 1926, Fay's burgeoning talent was recognized when she was selected as one of the Wampus Baby Stars by the Western Association of Motion Picture Advertisers. This prestigious group of young actresses was seen as the next big thing in Hollywood. At the time, Fay was under contract with Universal Studios, where she frequently co-starred in low-budget westerns alongside Buck Jones. These roles, though modest, helped her hone her craft and gain valuable screen experience. The following year, Fay's career took a significant turn when she signed a contract with Paramount Pictures. This move proved to be pivotal. In 1926, the legendary director Erich von Stroheim cast her as the leading lady in his ambitious film, The Wedding March, which was released by Paramount 2 years later. Despite its high budget and lavish production values, the film was a financial flop. However, it marked a milestone for Fay, giving her the first lead role of her career and showcasing her ability to captivate audiences. Fay continued to thrive at Paramount, starring in more than a dozen films and smoothly transitioning from the silent film era to the advent of talkies. Her ability to adapt to the evolving cinematic landscape demonstrated her versatility and ensured her place in Hollywood history. Each role she took on brought her closer to the iconic status she would eventually achieve. The big break. After parting ways with Paramount, Fay Wray's career took a thrilling turn as she signed with several other film studios, delving into the genre that would make her a horror icon. She starred in Dr. X, 1932, and Mystery of the Wax Museum, 1933, films that showcased her ability to convey terror and vulnerability, securing her place in the annals of horror film history. However, it was her contract with RKO Radio Pictures that truly defined her legacy. Her first film with RKO was the suspenseful adventure The Most Dangerous Game, 1932, where she starred alongside Joel McCrea. The film's production was unique, as it was shot at night using the same jungle sets that were employed for another iconic project, King Kong, during the day. Fay and her co-star Robert Armstrong pulled double duty, starring in both movies simultaneously. Following The Most Dangerous Game, Fay Wray was catapulted to fame with the release of King Kong, Originally, the role of Anne Darrow, the beautiful blonde captivated by the giant ape, was intended for Jean Harlow. However, Harlow's exclusive contract with MGM made her unavailable, creating a golden opportunity for Fay. Director Marion C. Cooper saw Fay as the perfect choice for the role and offered her $10,000, equivalent to $200,000 today, to bring Anne Darrow to life. King Kong became a monumental success, etching itself into cinematic history as a groundbreaking achievement in special effects and storytelling. Fay Wray's portrayal of Anne Darrow was both haunting and iconic, her screams echoing through the halls of film legend. The movie not only captivated audiences worldwide, but also played a crucial role in saving RKO from the brink of bankruptcy. She was nicknamed the Queen of Screams. Fay Wray's journey to this chilling moniker began with her roles in a series of groundbreaking horror films. Her ability to convey genuine terror and vulnerability on screen was unparalleled. It all started with Dr. X, 1932, and Mystery of the Wax Museum, 1933, where her piercing screams and terrified expressions sent shivers down the spines of audiences. These films established her as a horror icon, but it was her unforgettable performance in King Kong that truly solidified her reign. In King Kong, 1933, Fay portrayed Anne Darrow, the damsel in distress who finds herself at the mercy of the giant ape. Her iconic scream as Kong scales the Empire State Building has become one of the most memorable moments in cinematic history. Audiences were captivated by her ability to project fear so convincingly, and her scream became synonymous with the horror genre. This role not only showcased her talent, but also cemented her as the quintessential scream queen. But Fay Wray's talents weren't confined to horror alone. She was also dubbed the Queen of the B's for her prolific work in B-list films. These lower-budget movies often didn't have the prestige of major studio productions, but they were a proving ground for many actors. Fay's presence elevated these films, bringing a touch of class and credibility to the B-movie circuit. Her versatility and dedication to her craft meant she could transition seamlessly between genres, captivating audiences in every role she took on. She stayed in a haunted hotel. Fay Wray often stayed at the Hollywood Roosevelt Hotel, a legendary establishment known not only for its luxurious accommodations, but also for its chilling reputation. The hotel, located on Hollywood Boulevard, has long been rumored to be haunted by several ghosts, adding a spooky layer to Wray's Hollywood experience. Built in 1927, the Hollywood Roosevelt Hotel quickly became a glamorous hotspot for the stars of the golden age of Hollywood. However, beneath its glitzy surface lies a history of eerie occurrences and ghostly sightings that have left guests and employees alike feeling unsettled. Fay Wray, who frequented the hotel during her career, became familiar with its haunted reputation. One of the most famous ghosts said to haunt the hotel is that of Marilyn Monroe, who lived at the Roosevelt for 2 years during her early career. Guests have reported seeing her reflection in a mirror in her old suite, now called the Marilyn Monroe Suite. The apparition of a blonde woman, often identified as Monroe, has been seen dancing in the hotel's ballroom, adding to the air of mystery. Another ghostly presence is that of actor Montgomery Clift, who stayed at the hotel while filming From Here to Eternity. His ghost is said to linger in room 928, where guests have heard the sound of a trumpet playing and felt a cold, eerie presence. Clift's ghost has also been spotted pacing the hallways, seemingly rehearsing his lines. The hotel's historic Blossom Room, where the first Academy Awards were held in 1929, is another hotspot for paranormal activity. Visitors have reported seeing the ghost of a man in a tuxedo, believed to be a lingering spirit from Hollywood's golden days. Disembodied voices, sudden temperature drops, and mysterious shadows are common occurrences in this area. For Fay Wray, staying at the Hollywood Roosevelt Hotel meant more than just enjoying its luxurious amenities and star-studded history. It meant experiencing the chilling ambiance that many believe comes from its ghostly residents. While there are no records of Wray personally encountering these spirits, the hotel's eerie reputation and the unsettling stories from other guests surely added a spine-tingling element to her stays. She received disturbing fan mails. During her illustrious career, Fay Wray received countless letters from admirers around the world. While many were simply expressions of appreciation and adulation, A significant number were deeply disturbing, revealing an unsettling side of Fame that left her feeling vulnerable and unsafe. These letters ranged from obsessive declarations of love to menacing threats, painting a chilling picture of the darker aspects of celebrity. Her portrayal of the damsel in distress attracted many fans, some of whom developed unhealthy fixations. The anonymity of fan mail allowed these individuals to express their darkest thoughts without fear of immediate consequence, and the content of some letters crossed the line into terrifying territory. One particularly chilling letter allegedly read, "Dear Miss Ray, I have watched King Kong over and over, and every time I see you, I feel like you're speaking directly to me. You are my destiny, and we are meant to be together. If I can't have you, then no one else should. I will find you, and we will be united, one way or another." This letter, laced with obsession and a veiled threat, left Ray deeply unsettled. The fan's possessive tone and the insinuation of violence, if his desires were not met, highlighted the dangerous intensity of his fixation. Another disturbing letter reportedly contained the following: "You don't know me, but I know everything about you. I've been following your career for years, watching your every move. I dream of the day when I can take you away from all of this and keep you safe. You belong to me, and I will do whatever it takes to make you realize that." The letter's invasive nature and the stalker-like undertones were enough to make anyone's skin crawl. The flood of such letters created a persistent state of anxiety for Ray. The fact that these individuals had such intense emotions towards her, often without ever having met her, was deeply unsettling. The nature of Fame made it impossible for her to know who among her fans could translate their written threats into real-world actions. Screams from her movies outlived her. Fay Wray's legendary performance in the 1933 classic King Kong didn't just catapult her to fame, it left an indelible mark on the horror genre itself. Her screams and shrieks, which so convincingly conveyed terror and helplessness, became iconic in their own right. What many fans might not realize is that these spine-chilling sounds didn't end with King Kong. They echoed through the corridors of cinematic history, finding their way into numerous other horror films over the years. When Ray first stepped into the role of Anne Darrow, the beautiful and terrified captive of the giant ape, she brought an authenticity to her performance that was unparalleled. Her screams were not just sound effects, they were visceral expressions of fear, capturing the raw emotion of a woman facing an unimaginable nightmare. These screams were so powerful and convincing that they became a valuable asset in the world of sound editing and film production. After the success of King Kong, these recordings were carefully archived, becoming a go-to resource for sound designers and editors in Hollywood. In the pre-digital era, creating realistic and impactful sound effects was a significant challenge. Ray's screams provided a perfect solution, offering a range of emotional intensity that could elevate the atmosphere of any horror scene. Throughout the 1930s and beyond, Fay Wray's iconic shrieks were repurposed in various films, sometimes subtly woven into the background, other times featured prominently to heighten the suspense and terror. These recycled sounds allowed new generations of filmmakers to benefit from Ray's extraordinary talent, adding a touch of classic horror magic to their projects. She has had multiple paranormal experiences. Ray recounted seeing apparitions on multiple occasions. One notable experience took place in her own home, where she claimed to see the ghostly figure of a man in old-fashioned clothing. The apparition appeared in her living room late at night, standing silently before vanishing without a trace. This sighting left Ray convinced that her house was haunted. Another eerie incident occurred while Ray was staying at a friend's house. She described waking up in the middle of the night to see a shadowy figure standing at the foot of her bed. The figure did not move or speak, but its presence filled her with an overwhelming sense of dread. When she turned on the light, the figure disappeared, leaving her shaken and unable to sleep for the rest of the night. Ray also experienced unexplained phenomena that she believed were connected to the supernatural. In one instance, she heard mysterious footsteps echoing through her house when she was alone. The footsteps seemed to follow her from room to room, stopping just outside the door whenever she tried to pinpoint their source. Despite a thorough search, she could find no explanation for the sounds. In another incident, Ray recounted objects moving on their own. She would find items that had been securely placed suddenly knocked over or moved to different locations. This scary activity was sporadic, but always left her feeling uneasy and watched. Her breakout role was cursed. The role of Ann Darrow in King Kong is said to carry a curse, with several actresses who have played the part experiencing significant personal and professional misfortunes. Fay Wray, who originated the role in the 1933 classic, had a life marked by dramatic highs and lows, fueling the legend of this Hollywood curse. Fay Wray's portrayal of Ann Darrow catapulted her to fame, but her career was never the same after King Kong. Despite her iconic status, she struggled to find roles that matched her initial success. Her personal life was equally tumultuous. She endured the tragedy of her first husband, screenwriter John Monk Saunders, committing suicide in 1940. This devastating event cast a long shadow over her life, contributing to periods of deep sorrow and emotional turmoil. The curse seemed to extend to subsequent actresses who took on the role of Ann Darrow. Jessica Lange played the part in the 1976 remake of King Kong. Although Lange's performance was praised, she faced a challenging career trajectory afterward. While she eventually found success and acclaim, her early career was fraught with difficulties and typecasting, which she struggled to overcome. Naomi Watts, who starred as Ann Darrow in the 2005 version of King Kong, also experienced a series of personal and professional setbacks following the film. Despite receiving critical acclaim for her performance, she faced a string of less successful projects and personal challenges, including a highly publicized breakup with actor Liev Schreiber. The notion of a curse is further fueled by the eerie parallels in the lives of these actresses. Each experienced intense scrutiny and pressure from the public and the media, and all dealt with personal hardships that seemed to overshadow their professional achievements. Near-death experiences on set were normal for her. Fay Wray's illustrious career in early Hollywood was fraught with danger, as the era's stunts and special effects often posed significant risks to the actors involved. Wray had several near-death experiences on film sets where the hazardous nature of filmmaking could have ended her life prematurely. One of the most harrowing incidents occurred during the filming of King Kong, 1933. In a scene where her character, Ann Darrow, is carried to the top of the Empire State Building by the giant ape, Wray was strapped into a small, precarious platform that was lifted high above the ground. The safety measures were minimal, and a single mistake could have led to a fatal fall. The intense winds and the swaying of the platform added to the terror, making the experience both physically and mentally exhausting for Wray. Another terrifying moment happened on the set of The Most Dangerous Game, 1932, where Wray was required to perform stunts involving fire and water. In one scene, she was trapped in a burning building and had to navigate through real flames to escape. The fire was not entirely controlled, and Wray narrowly avoided severe burns. In another scene, she was swept into a raging river, where she struggled against strong currents and sharp rocks. The film crew had limited safety protocols, and Wray came dangerously close to drowning. While filming Dr. X, 1932, Wray faced yet another perilous situation. In a scene involving a chemical explosion, the special effects team used real explosives to create the desired impact. The timing was crucial, and Wray had to perform her actions with split-second precision to avoid being caught in the blast. A minor miscalculation could have resulted in severe injuries or worse. Her work in The Vampire Bat, 1933, also exposed her to significant risks. In one particularly dangerous scene, she was required to hang from a high ledge while being pursued by the villain. The harness used to secure her was rudimentary and prone to failure. A slip or malfunction could have sent her plummeting to the ground, ending her career and life prematurely. She believed in ghosts. Wray firmly believed in ghosts and spirits and often shared stories of her own eerie experiences, which added a mysterious dimension to her already storied life. Wray's interest in the supernatural was deeply personal. She frequently spoke about feeling the presence of her deceased loved ones. After the tragic suicide of her first husband, John Monk Saunders, Wray claimed to sense his presence around her. She described moments when she felt a sudden chill or an inexplicable touch on her shoulder, which she interpreted as Saunders' spirit trying to communicate with her. These experiences, though comforting in their own way, were also profoundly unsettling. Another eerie encounter involved Wray's belief that her childhood home was haunted. She recounted stories of hearing unexplained footsteps in the hallway and whispers in empty rooms. One particularly chilling incident occurred when she saw the figure of a woman in a long dress standing at the foot of her bed. The apparition vanished when Ray tried to speak to it, leaving her convinced that she had witnessed a ghost. She also believed in the power of dreams as a conduit for supernatural communication. She often dreamt of her parents after they had passed away. In these dreams, they would offer her guidance and comfort, which she took as signs that they were watching over her. These vivid dreams reinforced her belief in an afterlife and the ongoing presence of her loved ones. Her fascination with the supernatural extended to her professional life as well. Ray was drawn to roles in horror and thriller films, which often explored themes of the unknown and the otherworldly. She believed that her own experiences with the supernatural gave her a unique understanding of the fear and awe that such phenomena inspired.